After 2 special episodes recapping the previous year and providing insights into the current year, our show returns to its established format. In the first topic, we'll look at the launch of the Falcon Heavy rocket, carrying a military mini-spaceplane. In the second topic, we'll showcase the first orbital launch of 2024, during which India placed an astronomical satellite into orbit. In the final topic, we'll highlight the Falcon 9 launch, carrying a telecommunications satellite. On December 29th at 1:07 Universal Time, 27 Merlin rocket engines ignited at Florida's launch pad, 39A. SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket embarked on a mission for the United States Space Force. The mission, designated USSF-52, is sometimes referred to as OTV-7. The second designation tells us it's the 7th flight of the military mini-spaceplane X-37B, capable of spending up to 900 days in orbit, which it demonstrated during its most recent mission. X-37B's activities are classified. However, available information suggests it likely involves testing new sensors for Earth reconnaissance. The mini-spaceplane can also deploy small satellites from its cargo bay.
Under the power of 5 million pounds of thrust, Falcon Heavy is carrying OTV.
The interesting aspect of this mission is the choice of the rocket used. In its previous 6 launches, X-37B used Atlas V and Falcon 9, which are significantly less powerful than the Falcon Heavy used in the current mission. Speculation suggests that the mini-spaceplane might have orbited at a higher altitude than usual, typically around 400 kilometers above Earth.
And great news, we were able to also see that live on your screen. BECO, the side boosters have separated from the center core, and we have
the Falcon Heavy central stage was used for the first time. It's not surprising. So far, the central stage of this rocket has either failed to recover or didn't even attempt a landing. The latter was the case in this mission. Therefore, the central stage lacked both grid fins and landing legs.
And you can see on your screen that the engines have reignited.
Landing leg deployed.
Let's watch as these side boosters touch down for landing.
Stage 2 is a thermal guidance.
On the other hand, the 2 side boosters were reused for the 5th time and returned to Florida. As usual, their synchronized landing was a spectacular sight. India claimed the first orbital launch of 2024. On January 1st at 3:40 Universal Time, the PSLV rocket lifted off from the Satish Dhawan Space Center.
Bright morning of the New Year's Day made brighter by a majestic liftoff.
Specifically, the PSLV DL variant with 2 solid rocket stages was used. This version can carry a payload of about 1.25 tons to a 600-kilometer sun-synchronous orbit. The payload for this mission was the XPoSat astronomical satellite. Designed to observe selected objects primarily in the soft X-ray part of the electromagnetic spectrum, the X-SPECT instrument covers the range from 800 to 15,000 electron volts, while POLIX measures from 8 to 30 kiloelectron volts. XPoSat is India's first space observatory dedicated to polarimetric measurements of various dynamic astronomical sources of X-ray radiation. While XSPECT focuses on spectroscopic measurements, POLIX measures polarimetric parameters.
Continue for 425 seconds in all.
XPoSat was not the sole payload for this mission. For the third time, the upper stage of the PSLV rocket was repurposed into the POEM platform, hosting 10 scientific and technological experiments. On January 3rd at 23:04 Universal Time, the Falcon 9 rocket by SpaceX lifted off from launch pad SLC-40.
0, mission liftoff.
The payload was the Ovzon 3 Telecommunications satellite from the Swedish-American company Ovzon AB. Its destination is a geostationary orbit, positioned roughly above 60 degrees east longitude. It will provide services to both civilian and military customers in Europe, Africa, and Asia for short-term and long-term needs. Geostationary telecommunications satellites typically weigh around 4 to 5 tons. Ovzon 3 represents very lightweight satellites, weighing only 1,800 kilograms at launch. Equipped with ion propulsion, it will take it several months to transition from elliptical delivery orbit to its final operational orbit. Because Ovzon 3 was so lightweight, Falcon 9 could afford something unprecedented in previous launches of this type. The first stage had enough propellant to return to land this time. This marked the 10th use of the first stage, and it concluded its mission with a successful landing on the LZ-1 concrete pad. SpaceX once again demonstrated the capabilities of its rockets, as, for the first time, the first stage that launched a payload to a geostationary transfer orbit landed back on land. Thank you for your attention to today's episode of Spaceflight News. We are delighted in your interest in space news, and to ensure you do not miss future episodes, kindly consider subscribing to our channel. Additionally, you can find other interesting news on our profile on social network X, formerly known as Twitter. The link can be found in the video description.